Exactly. You proved my point. The Cincinnati Bengals and the
Mm-hmm.
Rams. Why nobody remembered of that Super Bowl? Because Kansas City was not there. All right. Well, talking about greatness, and you briefly mentioned something that you do not like. Well, reality is already here on our next topic. The Kansas City Chiefs have won 3 Super Bowls out of the last 5 years. They've gone to 4 Super Bowls. Actually, they have won 3 in 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
They've gone to 4. So Pedro, I think this is a slam dunk. Can you consider the Kansas City Chiefs a dynasty? And do you like that this is a dynasty?
I kind of alluded to it before. I hate dynasties. Um, it's just everything seems so like almost like if it was meant to be. And you know me, Alfredo. I don't like things that are sure bets because you know what? I'll tell you something right now. I would have bet that the San Francisco 49ers would have won that game. I would have bet that I would have put down $1,000 that they would have won that game. And because of Patrick Mahomes, I would have been out of money. But that's why
Right.
I don't.
So then why do you say it's a short thing? Let me ask you, when the playoffs started,
Mhm.
remember that they had that first game against the Dolphins in the
Yeah.
wild card round, long time ago.
Hmm.
Did you ever expect it when before the playoffs started that they were going to win the Super Bowl?
That no, we always knew that they had a chance because once you and that team, that coach, that quarterback, that defense, as for Spagnola, what that we always knew they always had the chance of getting there. My only issue with them is that there were other teams that were better. That we believed, and not just you and me, everybody around us believed that there were teams that were better, but we always gave them the puncher's chance because we knew what they were made of. You
Okay.
know, they were championship caliber. Now, the problem, this is what I'm going to tell you. The reason why I'm telling you these guys are a dynasty because we get to a point in time that we look at the body of work that they have put together. AFC champ, this Patrick Mahomes AFC championship every year of him being a starter.
6 years.
Every year of him being a starter, 6 years of AFC championships. Now, would you consider the the Bills from in the '90s a dynasty?
No,
No. Why?
because they didn't win.
Because they didn't win, right? Now, if they would have won one or two, because they went a bunch of times, I think they went 4 times to the Super Bowl and lost every single time. Correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So if they would have won twice, would you consider them a dynasty?
Yeah, because my criteria to be considered a dynasty within a time period, it had to be at least they had to win it all at least 50% of the time.
Okay. So the Cowboys were a dynasty.
They were a dynasty.
And the Patriots were a dynasty twice in your opinion then.
Patriots were a full out. I mean, I would say during the whole era, they were the only dynasty team because at the end, even though there were a gap that the Patriots didn't win, but they were always there. They were always in contention. The thing is not that you always have to be in a championship game, but you always had to be in contention. You had to be like always right there,
Okay.
not
So
miss the
you,
playoff.
so you just contradicted yourself. You said that the Bills were not a dynasty.
Yeah, but they didn't even win a Super Bowl. You have to win a Super Bowl. My criteria is that you have to win the Super Bowl
Mm-hmm.
at least half of the time during that time,
Mm-hmm.
plus be competitive. They did is that they went to those 4 Super Bowls. They didn't lose in the AAC championship. It was just a 4 year gap.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But with the Patriots,
Uh-huh.
yes, they were a full on dynasty because from 2002 or 2001, when Tom Brady was there, they were always a heavy contender. At rare cases, they would lose. I think during that time, they only lost, they missed the playoff twice,
Mm-hmm.
which one of them was Tom Brady, that he got hurt. Okay. And then during they lost the wild card round once or twice.
Mm-hmm.
They never lost in the divisional round, but they would always go to the AFC Championship game. At least that's my criteria. At least be in the AFC Championship game.
So win a Super Bowl a few times, at least 50% of the time, which they
Yep.
did.
Uh,
Which they did it. So in what you're telling me, the Patriots were only a dynasty in maybe a 4-year period 2 times.
no, because if you look at it in totality, they were always competitive. They won 6 Super Bowls in probably, you know, I mean, you could say maybe it was two editions of the dynasty, if you want to go like that.
No, yeah, that's what I think. I put it like that because I don't. I consider the Bills going to the Super Bowl all those years a dynasty because that's success. Just because you didn't win the Super Bowl doesn't mean that you weren't successful. Because we all know one play a different in this game in this Super Bowl. One play could have been the difference, and it could have gone the other way.
So,
But
so you consider San Francisco for the last couple of years a dynasty?
I consider them a dynasty because
The
they
one right
have
now.
the one right now. They've been in the past few years. They've been twice. They lost twice to Patrick Mahomes. They're always in contention. They're always in the thick of it. The only time that we thought of them not as a good team is when this guy what's this guy's name? All right, he's went to
Jimmy G.
when Jimmy G went to got hurt. Then they were kind of like in the weeds. But besides that, they were always considered to be a great team and always in the thick of it in the playoffs.
Yeah, dynasty for me, I would consider it has to be special occasion. Like I think you have it too loosely because for
Mhm.
you to consider San Francisco a dynasty, I mean that's outrageous because they haven't even won a Super Bowl. You have to win at least a Super Bowl, to be considered anything. Because if it's like that, then anybody can be a dynasty.
No,
Buffalo the recent years of Buffalo Bills can also be
no,
competitive.
they didn't even
We
make it
are
to the
right
Super Bowl.
now in the Kansas City, Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes era dynasty. That's where we're at right now. Without a shadow of a doubt,
No,
no
no,
other team.
no. You're completely right. Yes, I consider this a dynasty as well because you can't go to 6 AFC Championship games straight and go and win 3 Super Bowls and not be considered a dynasty. I'm just saying that my definition of that has to be a little bit looser than yours because we have teams that are dominant. It just so happens they didn't win a Super Bowl.
I mean, in the NBA, when Michael Jordan was winning all those championships, the Utah Jazz, went to the NBA Finals. I mean, they can't be considered dynasty because they didn't win. They ran into Jordan. So
No, but basketball is different, bro. Basketball is more of it's a team sport, but is a very one person can make a difference.
so quickly, so you mentioned you don't like it, right?
No, that they are no, I don't
No,
like
you don't like that as a dynasty. You don't like dynasties.
I don't like dynasties. Because the thing is, look, I understand that there is greatness, but because there is greatness in a team sport, because the American football is the ultimate team sport. You can't have one person take over a game, which is you have to agree with me. It's you don't have even Tom Brady if he had absolutely no one on his team, he's not making it to the Super Bowl because he can't throw the ball himself, he can't run the ball himself, he can't defend be on the defense, he can't do everything. So this is the ultimate team sport, and I understand that a lot of times what happens is because people know that there's a good quarterback on a team, coaches, position coaches, coordinators, players take lower amounts of money to be able to play with this guy so that they could win championships. I know that exists and I know that happens, but it's not a foregone conclusion because any given Sunday, anything could happen. How many times, Alfredo, did you and me are watching a Dolphins game and we beat the Patriots once a year for a long time.
Okay, so you're proving my point. And see, Pedro, I look at it from the business aspect.
Mm-hmm.
Dynasties are good for the NFL and all sports. Why? Because it creates an interest. In life, there has to be a good guy and there's a bad guy. If everybody a good guy, life is boring. You need to have someone that you have to look up to for you to beat. So that's why a dynasty is important. And I love that there's a dynasty now. Because Pedro, and it's really hypocritical from you to talk about this. How many years were you, as a Dolphins fan, upset because I would hear from you that the Patriots always kept on winning, and you would look forward to the day for the Patriots to lose in the playoffs? Actually, I'll tell you this: I bet the games that you would have more interest in the playoffs would be the Patriots because you would want for them to lose. And then from the moment that they lose, yeah, it's already okay. Well, the Patriots are eliminated. What is there to look for? Yeah, as a football fan, you'll maybe watch other games, but that passion, that interest is gone. So, Pedro, for business purposes, the dynasty is important because think about it. The Chiefs are already proclaiming that they are going for the three-peats and that they're going to win it all. They are already marking themselves as the enemy, Pedro.
Mm-hmm.
So think about it. Do you think those revenues, looking through all the revenues, actually looking through all the NFL articles, and we can even talk about this another day in the business aspect of the NFL, highest rated games in the NFL, it always involves certain individuals or teams. The Cowboys, obviously, the Chiefs because of Patrick Mahomes,
Mm-hmm.
and then maybe a certain time when Tom Brady was around. But let's talk about now about Patrick Mahomes.
Okay.
He is the top grade in ratings purposes after the Cowboys. Why? Because people wants to see Dynasty fail, wants to see Kansas City Chiefs fail. So yes, Pedro, a Dynasty is much welcome. It would absolutely make the 2024 season very interesting because now the big question is who will knock off the two-time defending champs?
Look, I have to disagree with you emphatically, Alfredo, because you're talking about a business. You and me both know how businesses work. You know,
Business is what matters. Is what brings money.
business is what brings money, and when everything is what's best for business. Now, this is not a sport that's predetermined. Now, and I want you to understand something. Who is the biggest ad sponsor for the NFL?
DraftKings.
And what Vegas.
Yeah, Vegas.
Okay. And what
Okay.
was Vegas saying that who was going to win?
They were saying San Francisco was going to win.
So if the opposite happened, that it did, that the Kansas City Chiefs win, who loses?
The house.
And what happened?
The house lost. And Kansas City won.
And Kansas City won. So in the right now, the biggest supporter of the NFL was in concert with the NFL because they are the biggest supporter. They need to know. They needed this outcome not to happen for them to make money. Yeah, obviously, they make money regardless. They've been making money all year, but this is the biggest game of all the games that have gone on in the past. They needed the Kansas City Chiefs to lose, and they won. So
okay, so you're proving my point. Dynasties are important in sports.
No, they're not. Forget about look. Dynasties are good for when you look in the past. They're like, oh, look at the past. Look at all the accomplishment that these people did, and then we got to look at the Patriots because that's the last dynasty that we had.
Okay, let's do this. Tell me very quick the last 5 Super Bowl matchups. Do it. Say it.
You know it. It's
Tell
Kansas
me,
City. Do I,
tell me the matchups. Tell me the matchups.
bro? I'm not gonna remember everything, but I know the last one of the last ones that Tom Brady played was the Buccaneers and the Kansas City Chiefs. That's the one that got knocked off by that he got knocked off by.
Okay. Keep on. Keep on. What else?
Okay,
What other
no,
matchups? What other
other
matchups?
San Francisco, San Francisco, the two, this one and the last one, San
Okay.
Francisco and what's the guy's name? San Francisco and the Kansas City Chiefs. We had the last one before that was the Eagles and Kansas City Chiefs, and the one before that, yeah, now I don't remember.
Exactly. You proved my point. The Cincinnati Bengals and the
Mm-hmm.
Rams. Why nobody remembered of that Super Bowl? Because Kansas City was not there. You see how Dynasty works? People, you're more paid attention to the NFL. You give it more importance when there's Dynasty involved. I ask you, tell me the last 5 Super Bowl matchups. And what came to your mind was everything involving Kansas City because Kansas City is the main priority. But you forgot there was a Super Bowl there in the middle, that it was the
Mm-hmm.
Bengals and the Rams. And yes, maybe they had great ratings, but I bet in the long run, this will be a Super Bowl that nobody will remember. Because same thing as when Brady, um, people forgets more like during the Brady and Patriots dominance. Peyton Manning won a couple of Super Bowls. Drew Brees won a couple of Super Bowls, but those aren't talked as much because it was during that era. So that's why Dynasty, for business purposes, brings cash, brings a
So,
lot of money to the NFL.
mm-hmm.
And trust me, you're going to see the ratings next year will be even higher because you want to see Goliath fall.
Bro,
Right?
I don't agree, but we'll continue. We'll
We'll
convene.
never, we'll never agree to this.